and the omnibus. So I was forced into the Archers when I was a child. And look, it's come back to bite me later on. I'm awash with this stuff.
The Archers is the world's longest-running radio show, with more than 15,000 episodes broadcast. Despite being a rural flavour show, The Archers is recorded in the heart of...
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at 3 really intense, quite personal conversations. We're sort of weaving these threads together. And our mission here is to pull out the core issues, really. Community obligation, managing crisis. What are the sort of universal responses when everything just lands at once?
Exactly. And these sources, they give us this, well, incredibly raw look at what happens. Professional duty clashing with sudden logistical breakdown, and then this desperate need for personal redemption, all happening together.
Right.
So for you, the listener, what we're trying to do is distill the key lessons, not just the specifics for these people, but the fundamental hurdles that pop up when all this pressure exposes our weaknesses and our strengths too.
Okay, let's dive in then. We start at Brookfield Farm. There's this huge amount of stress, isn't there? Because David's committed to helping out at Meadow Farm. Yeah,
after the farmer there passed away so suddenly. And it's a perfect example, really, of this. You could call it the invisible burden of dedication. Well, David is a dairyman through and through. He says he can't stand by and watch cows being neglected. And it's admirable, his ethics there. But it immediately creates these massive hidden costs.
Costs borne by
his family, his support network. Mostly Ruth in this case.
Yeah, and we really hear her struggling with that cost. That chat she has with Leonard is very telling. She mentions the yard needs doing, the afternoon milking. It's falling to her again. She's basically picking up all the essential, maybe boring, but absolutely necessary stuff that David just doesn't have time for now. It's that classic conflict, isn't it? Duty out there versus duty at home.
And she nails that duality. She says David's strong sense of responsibility is one of the reasons I married him, but also one of the things that really gets up my nose. Which kind of suggests maybe it's not just ethics driving him. Perhaps there's a bit of ego too, the need to be the hero, the indispensable one.
And the cost of playing hero.
It almost always falls on the people closest.
And when you look at his schedule, you absolutely get why Ruth's so stretched. Milking first thing, then the ewes, a run to Borchester for supplies, then straight back to Meadow Farm for their afternoon milking.
He's basically trying to run 2 big farming operations. It's unsustainable for one person.
Which is why those small acts of support become so important, analytically speaking, like Leonard showing up.
Right. Leonard sees Ruth is, running ragged.
Yeah.
And he tries to help, but notice how he helps. He focuses on the non-essential, but maybe emotionally sustaining things.
Like the sandwich.
Exactly. Bringing her a sandwich, making a point about the thick ham and perfect crumb. It's care. But the second she suggests actual farm help, like milking,
he backs off fast.
Yeah, draws a clear line, admits it's outside my skill set.
Which I think is actually quite insightful, maybe for anyone managing teams under pressure. Sometimes the best support isn't trying to do the specialist job badly. It's helping the main caregiver, the expert, just recover a bit.
Yeah.
Leonard can't milk, but he can make sure Ruth eats.
And that little kindness, it lets her hold on to that, what she calls her hopeless dream.
Just 5 minutes peace with a cup of tea and a magazine, the absolute luxury of quiet.
Yeah.
Okay, so that pressure cooker at Brookfield.
Introducing the Archer's mug, where elegance meets everyday comfort. Crafted from premium white ceramic, designed with vibrant peekaboo colors inside, simple, modern, and stylish. Start your day the Archer's way, with warmth, familiarity, and the comfort of voices you've come to love. As the stories unfold on the Archers, let this mug become part of your daily ritual, a small reminder of life in Ambridge. Practical for every home, dishwasher and microwave safe. Available in 2 sizes, 11 ounces and 15 ounces, designed to fit your lifestyle. Enjoy your favorite drink in a mug that connects you to Britain's most beloved countryside story, The Archers. For more information, and to order your very own The Archer's mug, follow the link below, and make it part of your daily routine.
It leads us right to the epicenter of the crisis, Meadow Farm. Let's shift there to Esme Mulligan, the farmer's daughter.
Esme. Her situation just throws the paralyzing effect of sudden loss into sharp relief, especially in these specialized, often family-run businesses.
It's where you see the real cracks in planning, right? Or the lack of it.
Absolutely. Succession planning failure, infrastructure failure.
Yeah.
Esme is completely overwhelmed. It's not just grief, it's this huge bureaucratic maze she's suddenly trapped in.
Like what specifically?
Well, she's got probate to figure out, contacting the bank, the registrar, and the big one. She hasn't found her father's will.
Oh, wow. Okay. That stops everything.
Pretty much. And on top of the legal nightmare, there's the financial chaos.
Yeah.
She can't access his accounts. She has no idea what's paid by direct debit, if there's even money to pay the bills.
It's terrifying.
It is. And crucially, unlike David, Esme isn't a farmer. Her background is website design, marketing. She specifically chose not to farm years ago.
So she's dropped into this totally alien world, dealing with really immediate threats, like the feed situation David mentioned.
Exactly. They're running low on feed, and she doesn't even know who the supplier is. That knowledge gap. It's as dangerous financially as the legal mess she's in.
Which must make processing the actual grief almost impossible.
You see that so clearly. She talks about staying in her old room at the farm, surrounded by piles of her dad's papers. And in this moment of quiet, she finds herself thinking, not about her dad, actually.
About her mother.
Yeah, her mother, who died years ago, missing her more acutely. She remembers this tiny, beautiful detail, watching the shadow of her mother's lampshade move.
And she feels guilty about that, doesn't she?
Terribly guilty. She says she felt stupid and bad for not missing her difficult father as much right then, and regretting she'd stopped visiting him so often because he was, well, stubborn.
That's such a complex emotional tangle. Grief is rarely straightforward.
No. It's like her mind is just delaying the processing of the immediate shock by retreating to an older, perhaps more resolved grief.
And Ruth's response there is just perfect, I think.
Oh, absolutely vital. Ruth just says, now is not the time to beat yourself up.
It's like giving her permission just to function, right? Step away from the guilt, focus on what needs doing now.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that immediate empathy, that connection, it leads directly to practical action. This is where the community shifts gears.
From sympathy to strategy.
Yes. Despite their own shortages at Brookfield, Ruth and Leonard make a decision. David and Akram will keep the milking going for Esme. Ruth will chase down that feed supplier. And crucially...
They'll lend her feed if needed?
Yeah. They agree to lend her feed, even though they're short themselves.
Why? What's the logic there?
It's a clear calculation. Esme's need is greater than ours. It's about preventing a total collapse at Meadow Farm, which could actually ripple out and affect the whole farming community there. It's community survival over immediate self-interest.
Okay, so we've seen the crisis response on the farm, the logistical side, but now let's pivot to a totally different kind of breakdown.
And a different kind of rebuilding.
Exactly. George. His mission really is just to get back into the community, get some work. He's aiming for the pub.
And this is such a stark contrast. George isn't worried about feed supplies. He's worried about a lack of trust.
He gets it though, doesn't he? He knows he has making up to do, he says. Bridges to build.
And crucially, it's about appearances too. He needs to be seen to be getting it together, especially for his daughter, Amber. For George, building trust isn't quiet work. It has to be public, visible.
Which makes his pitch to Jolene for that job. It's just so vulnerable. He's almost begging.
He really is. He says he'll take any work, doesn't care if it's dirty or heavy. He even explicitly says he'll work cheap.
He's trading his labor, basically, for just a chance at acceptance.
Pretty much. He's trying to demonstrate that his potential physical usefulness outweighs his past, and that little moment with the barrels.
Oh, right. That was telling.
He offers to lift the barrels, right? Showing strength, maybe.
And Jolene just corrects him. You rolled them.
Yeah. But he doesn't get defensive. He flips it instantly. Uses the correction itself as proof. See? I'll learn.
That's fascinating. It's like the performance of being teachable, of being compliant. That's what he needs to show to get back in.
Exactly. He needs to rebuild his social capital from absolute zero. And the stakes involved, they're immense for him.
It's not just about money, is it? It feels much more fundamental.
Oh, much more. It's about safety, social existence. He reminds Jolene, kind of leveraging past goodwill, that he did her a good turn over Mary, but then he brings up the present danger.
His old mates.
Yeah, his scumbag mates, as he calls them. The ones who planted that shank on him, almost stopped him getting out of prison. And he's still scared they could still be after me.
So getting this job, being visible in the community.
It's not just income, it's protection. It shows he's moving on, maybe makes him less of a target. Until he has that visible, community-approved role, he's stuck in this dangerous limbo.
He says he can't stand being stuck in a cell for hours on end, knowing he could be doing something useful, but nobody trusts him.
That's the core of it. The job is his way out of isolation, maybe his only shield against his past catching up.
So, if we pull all these threads together, David's professional duty creating pressure, Esme's sudden logistical nightmare, George's fight for just basic acceptance. What's the big takeaway here for listeners?
I think it's that regardless of where the pressure comes from, whether it's duty or loss or social isolation, the absolute essential things are reliable help, impunity, trust. They're non-negotiable.
Yeah.
We've seen people pushed way outside their comfort zones, right? Milking cows when that's not your job, trying to navigate probate law, even just learn you roll barrels, you don't lift them.
And through all these huge, stressful situations, you still get those little flashes of just human connection, those quirky moments.
Like Leonard's big friendly grandpa thing, which Ruth said sounded like a song title.
Yes. And Jill's secret biscuit police.
Exactly. Yeah. These small moments, the shared jokes, the manageable little kindnesses, they act like emotional shock absorbers, don't they?
Yeah.
They help people cope when the really big crises hit.
We saw Ruth and Leonard make that really difficult call lending fee they couldn't really spare because, as they said, Esme's need is greater than ours. That feels like that's the line where community really happens.
It really is. Yeah. And maybe that leads us to the final thought for you to take away and wrestle with.
Okay.
In a world that feels increasingly complex, resources often feel limited. We saw David risk his own farm's stability for an external duty. We saw Ruth and Leonard commit their scarce resources for a neighbor's survival. So the question is, when you're facing multiple crises at once, what really defines that line? What principle, ethical or maybe financial, tells you where your personal capacity ends and that overriding communal obligation begins?
That's definitely something to think about. Where's that line drawn?
Yeah.
Okay, lots to mull over there. We'll leave it there for this deep dive.
So what are you doing now?
Just getting ready for the next episode. Just moving mics around.
So what do you do?
I do the spot effects on the arches. Any
are you what we call Foley then?
Kind of. Yep.
Okay. And these are all part of the paraphernalia of production.
Yep. That's the ball bar. That's
this one.
Yep. That's.
Haley so wanted to be in their own place when their baby came. It's due in 2 months. Not much chance of that now. No. I mean, it would have been a stretch for them financially, mind, but I just wish there was something practical I could do to help them, Caroline. I think The Archers has had this immense popularity over the years, basically because it has always very accurately reflected the reality of life and living in a rural community at whatever